Hold on. We are live, TJ.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I am good, thanks.
Good.
Busy week?
I'm
How
just
has
going
your week been?
very busy. Very busy. I'm just moving things down. So there we go. Facebookers, we are in the building. So, yeah, it's been a very busy week, TJ. How
What
about...
have you been up to?
My feet don't touch the ground. It is so busy, so busy. We're moving offices. We're getting additional offices. So we did all the
Oh, that's exciting. You've got additional offices. You've
Then-
got your old one and new one.
We have. We're going to keep the education separate to everything else that we do. So, yeah, lots going on. Lots of exciting news. Lots of exciting news to share in the coming weeks. But I'm going to keep that a bit under wraps. I've got lots of things to share with you. And I'm definitely going to talk about the free networking and stakeholder event we've got next Thursday. It's a week tomorrow. I'm going to try and get the link.
Ooh, that's exciting.
That's exciting too. I'm going to share that now. That's a piece of news I can share. And I'll tell you all about that at some point today in this chat, because it's our first ever, in all the time we've been, established as a business, which is over 10 years now. It's our first networking and stakeholder event, and I'm so excited to see all the people that have signed up to come and hear. Just to, get a bit of motivation, an opportunity to get away from their desk, an opportunity to get some free continental breakfast, try some nice coffee that actually boosts brain power, helps you focus and hydrates you. A coffee and green teas and normal teas that hydrate. How about that? And hot chocolate.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. I need some of that.
So yeah, a coffee that doesn't dehydrate but hydrates. So you like the 8, hydrate you.
Oh, that's so clever.
That's a business idea coming, isn't it? That's another business.
Definitely.
Hello to Kerry and to Nicole. Good evening to you there online. TJ is with us. The dogs are going crazy in the background.
Oh, bless them. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. We are live. So it's all about, TJ, should we give people a second chance? Do people deserve a second chance? Does everyone deserve a second chance? And if not, who doesn't? And I
don't think everyone does, Michelle. I really don't think everyone does.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. No, not everybody does.
So
Do you think everybody deserves that second chance?
Okay, who do you think doesn't then? Who doesn't? Who are we? I want the viewers to contribute to tonight. I want some feedback. I want your views. Do you think people deserve a second chance? Do you think, should you give people a second chance? Does everyone deserve a second chance? And if not, who doesn't? So in your opinion, TJ, I'm guessing this is just your opinion unless you're being devil's advocate, because Nicole is saying, yes, everybody deserves a second chance.
No, I feel that as soon as somebody hits you, they've broken that trust in a relationship, and that is that. There is no reason to accept any violence, because it doesn't stop. I'm from a person that struggled with domestic violence a long time ago, and I kept giving another chance, and all that happened is I lost my own self-respect. I wouldn't do it to someone, so I wouldn't expect it from anyone else. So if someone did that to me, that would be it. There'd be no second chances.
But TJ, let's rewind what you just said, because you were in a situation, a domestic abuse relationship, and you did give second chance. You did give a third chance. You did give a fourth chance. So you did. But now for you, you're saying, absolutely, I've learned from that. And for you, I'm guessing that a certain line has been crossed and it's now not acceptable. There's no going back, and your values have changed.
Absolutely, they have, yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone in that situation? Do you think that they should then give second chances?
When people give a second chance, both parties have got to be, these dogs, I don't know what they're doing. Just bear with me for a second. Hold on. What are you doing? Lay down. Here.
It's always interesting when you get these new dogs. And the new dogs are definitely puppies should always have a second, a third and a fourth chance. Because they're just learning, just like your children are.
Oh,
and you have lots of fun when you get a new dog. I've definitely had my fun with my own puppies in the past, and I'm sure everyone that's listening, if you've had a puppy, you know all the fun and games that you're going to have, and all of the second chances they're going to need as they chew through your furniture. But the joy that they bring you while you're training them is amazing.
Yeah, they're both just laying down now, so they're just chilled, so that's good. But anyway, Nicole says, you may change that person's outlook, you may plant the seed. I have done the same, kept going back. I have done the same in my previous relationships where I've given a chance after chance after chance after chance until you get to a point. Both parties have got to be at a point, or the person who is wronged, the person who gets hurt, has got to come to a place where they don't want that anymore. Bentley.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
You know, when someone does wrong, helping to understand the context of that other person's actions can help put perspective and can help with any healing too, if damage has been done, if hurts are done, if disappointments are made. It doesn't invalidate your feelings, but it adds context to their actions, enabling you to choose how you move forward, whether you move forward and give them a second chance, or whether you move forward and that doesn't involve that person who's done the wrong. Does that make sense?
It definitely does. But it's, you know in yourself that there are certain times where you think everyone deserves a second chance, and there are other times where you think about, should you keep taking someone, giving someone that second chance? You know, will they just take you for a mug, you know, and look like you've got no self-respect, so we'll keep walking over you? I mean, you think about someone that is so, like, obviously I'm in a very loving relationship now. I'm very blessed. I'm really lucky. But if he went off and had an affair, my trust would be broke. That would be it also for me. There wouldn't be any second chances. That would be it, over and done with. But for other people, they believe that, you know, they can sort through it and get on. But for me, no. Once the trust broke, I don't feel like I could ever trust that person again.
I guess, TJ, I guess you wouldn't know how you'd respond until you're in that situation. But unless you're very adamant, a certain line has been crossed and there's no going back, and your value has been compromised. And if trust is at the top of your, you know, trust, honesty, fidelity are at the top of your values, and that has what has been breached, or the, you know, the value that's been breached, I suppose, that line has been crossed and you're saying no way. But only you will know that, only you will know the answer to that, because the questions you've got to ask yourself is, can you forgive them? You know, are you able to, if wherever trust is broken, are you able to forgive them?
It's a hard one though, isn't it? Once your trust is broke, that second chance is very, very difficult, because you do have to forgive. You have to be able to put it behind you and not keep bringing it up every 2 minutes. And can you do that? Can you trust that person every time they walk out the door and say, oh, I'm just going for a pint, or I'm just going for a bike ride? Would you be able to believe them, you know, and not let it tear you apart? For me, I think I would find that very difficult.
Yeah, Kerry is agreeing with you. She agrees with you, TJ. She says, I think forgiving is one thing, but forgetting is another. For me, I don't truly believe that that you have forgiven if you remember. I think my mum would say something different. She'll say she'll never forget, she'll always remember, but that doesn't mean she hasn't forgiven. Forgiveness is a feeling where you are at peace with a situation and you've come to a place of acceptance and you've let go. You're not going over old ground. You're not having the questions and the doubts in your own mind. You're not thinking about those things. You've actually moved on. That is what true forgiveness is. And if it's in a relationship, the question to ask yourself is, are you both committed to make it work? You know, we're human beings, and, you know, that it's a tough one. You just don't know how you'll respond until you're in that situation. But, you know, as human beings, we're going to make mistakes, aren't we? None of us are perfect. We are going to make mistakes. Some are going to be trivial ones. Some are going to be more significant ones. But only you can answer the question as to whether you can forgive that person who's caused the hurt, the wrongdoing, the disappointment. It's only you that can know if you can truly forgive. You know, has that person acknowledged and apologized for their mistake, for their wrongdoing? Or are they turning it back on you and blaming you for being, I don't know, it could be oversensitive? Or are they genuinely sorry for their errors? So, you know, the apology has to be genuine, has to be sincere, instead of just lip service and manipulation just to get what they want. So it's down to you really as to whether you can forgive that person for the wrongdoing, for the hurt, for the disappointment, in terms of whether you give people a second chance or not, because it is a personal thing. It's important.
It's a big thing to give someone a second chance, no matter what the thing is. It's often a big thing, isn't it? Because it's you thinking, you know, do you trust yourself to give that person that second chance? Do you think that it's the right thing? Are you walking into a trap, or are you, you know, setting yourself up for some big heartbreak or upset? Or do you think, no, that, you know, everyone's just human, like you say, and they deserve that second chance? So it's hard, isn't it?
It is hard. I'm going to give you 6 reasons why people should be given a second chance, because the very nature of the work we do is about giving people second chances. People who, you know, at risk of social exclusion, who've done wrong in society, you know, ex-offenders, whatever's gone on in their past. Our organisation, ethos and culture and the values is all about giving people second chances. So I am all for giving people second chances, but I will also share a bit where there comes a point when you can no longer afford emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and that's when you have that cut-off point, that internal switch, I suppose. But I'm going to just talk about 6 reasons why I think people deserve a second chance. The first one is people can change. People can learn from their mistakes, and when you give them a second chance, you're giving them an opportunity to allow them to demonstrate that they've learned from that mistake and that their behaviour can change and they're not that person they were. So that's number 1, people can change. The second one is, let's reverse it on the other foot and flip it on its head and say about how you would like to be treated. Because imagine if it's you that needs a second chance and it's you that needs a chance to redeem yourself. Wouldn't you like to be given that second chance?
Absolutely, I would.
Oh yeah,
are
we converting you, TJ?
Absolutely. For some things you think maybe not. Once bitten, twice shy.
Okay. I'll come to that. Keep that quote in your head. Once bitten, twice shy. Number 3, you feel happier when you forgive someone else. You know, being magnanimous helps with your own emotional benefit, gives you benefit emotionally when you let go. You feel happier when you forgive people, because holding on to grudges, holding on to resentment, holding on to what they did to you is only causing harm to you. It's not causing harm to anyone else except you. So if you haven't let that go, you are going to be one unhappy, you know, not at peace person.
But what about those people that feel they can't let it go? It hurt them so much.
Oh, just let it go. Just let it go. That when you can't let it go, you're holding on to the hurt. You're holding on to the pain. Why on earth would you want to do that? Write it down, put it in a box, put it on a balloon, throw it away, let it go, let it physically go. Write your pains and your hurts down, let it go. And, you know...
Great idea.
Number 4, it's a learning opportunity. I want to hear the viewers. I know I'm giving some tips tonight, but I want the viewers to be typing while I'm kind of chatting away about what you think. Do you think people deserve a second chance? Does everyone deserve a second chance? And if not, who doesn't? So tip number 4, while I'm chatting away, I want the viewers to interact with me. I want to read as many thoughts and comments and viewpoints. But learning opportunity. Treating all negative situations as a learning opportunity, and then you don't feel the pain and harbour the resentment or the hatred or the anger or whatever it is you feel because someone's hurt you or caused you pain or caused you disappointment or let you down again. Tip number 5, when you give people a second chance, it's a step towards moving on. Because holding grudges, and it's almost like tip number 3 about feeling happier when you can move on, because holding grudges is no good for anyone. It's like an emotional anchor, and it keeps you grounded in a pool of just negativity, and that will, it will drain your emotions. Tip number 6, you deserve peace of mind. And when you don't give a second chance, you are denying yourself the peace that comes with forgiving and moving forward. And that's a key one for me. I think there's great power in that, because the person who's been wronged, the person who's hurt, you deserve peace of mind. And when you don't give a second chance, you are denying yourself the peace that comes with forgiving and moving forward. So there's my 6 tips as to why I think people deserve a second chance. I want the viewers' opinions. Someone's saying plenty of balloons, lots of balloons to write it on and let it go. But when we don't let it go and when we hold on to it, we are putting ourselves at dis-ease. And when we are at dis-ease, what does it spell? Disease. Your eczema will flare up, whatever it is that you're prone to will flare up. And, it's coming to a place of acceptance and coming to a place of being at peace. But that choice is yours as to whether you want to give people a second chance or not. Because for you earlier, TJ, some lines that get crossed are just, once they're crossed, there's no going back. And that really does depend upon your own values and what matters to you most. Some people where there's been infidelity, people have breached the trust in a relationship or whatever it may be. If that is something you cannot shake, you will never be able to let go, you'll never be able to get those thoughts out of your head, then all that's going to do, staying in that relationship, will ruin the relationship going forward. Then you need to move on. But it's down to you. Edison, he needed hundreds of chances to get the light bulb right. Scientific progress requires many chances, because science gets it wrong sometimes, don't they?
They do. Your mum says that it's good to give second chances, but how do you know whether by giving a second chance it's just toxic anyway?
You'll never know until you try. You'll never know until you try. So long as you let that person know, like I said, you need 2 people. You've got to both be committed to making it work in order for you to move forward. You may let that person know, I've forgiven you, I'm happy to have you back in my life, let's see how it goes, because you have common values, you have common ground. They do mean what they say. Their actions will change and reflect, and you believe all of that, and that's what they'll do. But it's up to you. You'll only know whether it's toxic for you once you give it a try. But you won't know until you try. How do you know? How do you know?
People that lie to you, how do you, and you keep giving them another chance, and they keep lying?
You've got to trust your gut, haven't you? You've got to not try, when you're making these decisions, you've got to go with your gut feeling. If your gut feeling says trying to make amends with somebody will cause more grief, more upset, more hurt, more whatever, then stay away. Try not to be influenced by emotion. And it's important to be sure, but don't feel obligated to give somebody a second chance. You are not obligated to give somebody a second chance. You've got to just trust your gut. And again, you know, you can give that person a second. I've given previous relationships a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance, until you can no longer give any more chances. You can give, this is for everybody. Everybody has a tipping point. Everybody has an internal switch that says no more. For example, you know, I can give all the chances that I can afford, mentally, emotionally, it could be financially, spiritually, but resources, my emotions are not infinite. And at some point I may no longer afford the mental or physical resources to keep investing in someone or something. And that
Terry says that there must be a cut-off, surely. If it continues to happen, then time's up.
Absolutely. I think you're echoing what I'm just saying, because the chance for me to give another person another chance when I can no longer afford those chances mentally, emotionally. You know how you feel, because how you feel is a great detector of how you are thinking and feeling. And your feelings and your gut feeling will know whether it's good or not. But when you can no longer afford the mental or physical resources, then that's your internal switch, isn't it? Because the chance doesn't have to come from me. The chance can come from the next Tom, Dick or Harry, because I'm only human too. And that's my internal cut-off point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And he says, personally, I believe in second chances, but very, very, very rarely it works out. And I say, once an abuser, whether it's social or emotional or physical, they never change. Marion says, if you get older and hopefully wiser ones, Nicole says, been there totally, there's been enough is enough. It definitely does depend on your situation. And Marion replied with, it's prepared to give a second chance only once.
And there's also Rob. Rob is on saying, I'm currently following a program that is about forgiveness and acceptance, but the biggest thing is forgiving ourselves, as this is liberating from negative thinking and self-worth. Absolutely. In order for you've got to be committed, both parties, of wherever the hurt has come from, about, when people screw up, people mess up, should you give people a second chance? Both parties, whether it's a relationship, a business, a work colleague, whatever, both have got to be committed to make it work. Both have got to have the same values. Both have got to have be on the same page. Because if you're not, it's not going to work. But, listen to your gut, because your gut feeling will always be right. And don't ever feel obligated to give people second chances just because someone says, you should give them a second chance. No, it's down to you. It's all personal choice. But the main question to ask yourself is, can you forgive them? Can you move on from it? Has that person acknowledged and even apologized for their mistake? And it has to be sincere, not just lip service, like I said earlier. But
like what Rob is saying though about giving yourself a second chance when you get yourself into a predicament, and you give yourself that second chance, and don't think, well, that's it, I'm a bad person now, and that's it, I can't do anything, or I'm not capable of it. You give yourself a second chance to give whatever it is a go again, and forgive yourself whatever you've done in the past. And
going back to what Annie said, she believes that her personal belief is that once an abuser, there'll always be an abuser. Once a fraud, you'll always be a fraud. Once a liar, always a liar. And I disagree with that, because, people can change. But it's down to you whether you want to give that second chance or not, or whether that person deserves a second chance in your own opinion. Because, if that's the case, you know, if somebody has an experience of a bad marriage, they'll then think, oh, I never get married again. All men are the same. All women are the same. You know, if I was, my story, you know, when I got ripped off doing a partnership, did that stop me doing another partnership with somebody else? No. Within 6 weeks later, I was doing another partnership with a military company in the north of England. If I felt that all partnerships are going to be cheats and frauds and rip-offs, then I'm never going to do another partnership ever again. And your experiences then tarnish potential opportunity, because, and they can hold you back. And what you're then doing, Annie in particular, is then living in fear, for fear of meeting another abuser. So I'll stay away from men or women because that's how they behave. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. But another comment is, forgive and forget, no harm for both sides. Follow your gut for most of the time.
Yeah, and some people will say, you know, I genuinely forgive. I find forgiveness very easy. A lot of people struggle with forgiveness. My mum, I'm sure as she's watching, she would agree and type away and says, no, I agree. Perhaps as she's got older, she's perhaps learnt to become more forgiving. But forgiveness for my mum is a big one. Mum, feel free to type away and correct me if I'm wrong. But for me, I don't know why, whether it's personality, situations, circumstances, I don't know. But I'm a naturally very trusting person, and I naturally forgive easily. And when I say forgive, I actually genuinely forget. Someone could remind me 5 years later, do you remember that someone's son did that to you? And then it'd bring it back, but I'd have genuinely forgotten about it. But forgiveness is key. Acceptance of a situation is key. But the questions to ask yourself is, can you forgive them? Can you move on? Will you forever be going around in your head driving yourself crazy? And that will cause toxicity in itself. So I've given you 6 reasons why I believe people deserve a second chance. None of us are perfect, but that internal switch inside, when enough is enough, that cut-off point is when you can give all the chances in the world, but when you can no longer afford those chances, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, resources are not infinite. And at some point when you can no longer afford those, giving people chances, because they can go and find a chance from somebody else. It doesn't have to be from me, because I'm human too, and I've got to protect my feelings. So that's what I think. That's my viewpoint on should people be given second chance. But the very nature of what we do as an organisation, TJ, is all about giving people second chances, and that's I'd like to be treated that way. If the boot was on the other foot and I wanted to redeem myself, I'd want to show that person that I'm not that person, that I made a mistake, and I want to redeem myself and move on and be given a second chance. And like I said, when you forgive, when you give people a second chance, you feel happier. And that big one for me is that number 6, when I said to you, you deserve a peace of mind. You deserve peace of mind. When you don't give second chances, you deny yourself the peace that comes with forgiving and moving forward. So that's a big one for me. My mum says, I think forgiveness goes hand in hand with letting go, not necessarily forgetting about it. I think if you are done and dusted and move on, that is forgiving. Yeah. As long as you feel at peace and that you feel good, because your feelings are a good indication of your own inner vibration. And if your feeling is not a good one, you're not going to be attracting much goodness into your reality. But that's a whole nother topic on itself. But that's what I think, TJ. You said no at the beginning. I want to know where you stand now, TJ.
I think it still depends on the situation. I was talking to someone earlier in the week, and she said that she has been working in this company for about a year and a half, and she got put with a lady to keep doing work with her. And she says every time she does work with her, she this other lady takes all of the credit for her ideas and her work when she's done very little. And she says that she's finding it really hard to forgive her and give her a second chance. And although she keeps putting it kind of thinking, okay, I'll just get on, she keeps ending up with this same lady, and it just keeps happening and happening. And I keep saying to her, well, you know, give it another chance, and you go and put your work forward before she does. But the lady's been a bit underhand for it. What advice would you give to her?
My advice to her is, I was thinking straight away that it came straight to me, speak up. If you're there and somebody else is getting credit while you are there, speak up and say, actually, hey, are you trying to nick my ideas, make a joke of it? Speak up, whether it's making a joke, actually addressing the person on a serious note, to say, do you know what, I actually feel this is how I feel when somebody takes credit for actually my work or what I've done or my input, and it undermines me and my values or how I feel. Or you make a joke of it, depends how you want to do it, but my advice is speak up, address it with that person, and address it with management too, to say, do you know what, the person who just shared that idea, it actually came from me, and it's happened a lot, blah, 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 and just talk. Communication is key. Holding something in, harbouring ill feeling, harbouring, you know, not forgiving somebody, harbouring whatever, is only causing harm to you, because that other person who's taking the credit is not feeling harm at all. They're not even aware of how you're feeling. So I would definitely speak up and address it, whether you do it in a jokey way, say, hang on a minute, are you trying to take credit for my work? Or do it in a more serious way, but speak up. Communication is key. That's what I'd say in that situation.
I think Rob is just saying the same, is agreeing with you there. Not forgiving harbours resentment, which can definitely hold you back, if not consciously or subliminally. I can't even say that word today.
Subliminally. But it will. Any negativity that you hold on to and that you harbour, whether it's hatred towards somebody, not letting go of being disappointed, being let down, being hurt, all it does is eat at you and puts you in a place of dis-ease. And I'm here to say, you know, you've got to address these things, because it's toxic for you. It's toxic. It's no good. It doesn't make you feel good. And when you don't feel good, your vibration is not good. And when your vibration is not good, how can you attract good into your reality? You'll keep on attracting more situations that are causing harm to you. You'll meet more people who let you down. You'll meet more people who will lie to you. You'll go into the next relationship, which will be another domestic abuse relationship, because you haven't changed your vibe. Does that make sense? Yeah. And we've got to work on ourselves. We have to work on ourselves. It's a full-time job. But should people be given a second chance? In my opinion, I've got 6 perfectly good reasons, valid reasons as to why I think they should be given a second chance.
Yeah, and they are great reasons, without a doubt. Definitely without a doubt.
And that's it.
Sometimes I'm going to go with sometimes it just depends on that situation of what's happened and how you feel to things. So if somebody loses my trust, I find it very hard to give it back. If it's someone that was, like if my partner cheated on me, I find that very difficult to give that second chance.
I'm not saying it's going to be easy, and I'm not saying if I was ever in that situation, what would I do? I don't know until I get to that situation. All I know is what I think I should do about it. It's about how I feel about it. It's my feelings towards that situation. And if my feelings are one of negative and toxic and I can't move on and I'm driving myself crazy with my own thoughts about it, then I know it's time to move on. I can't be in that situation for my own well-being any longer. But only you will know that. Only you will know. And you know when your tipping point is. For those things, and like the viewers saying, everything comes in the right space and the right time, divine time, isn't it?
Yeah,
Absolutely. And that's it really. I do want to just share before we disappear. Hang on, Annie is just saying one more thing. Sometimes it depends on the situation, a bit like what you're saying, TJ. For example, if children are involved, but if it means the children will be at risk, then never for a second chance. And again, that goes back down to what is important to you, what lines have been crossed that for you, it may be that certain lines are crossed and there's no going back. And if that means harm to your children and there's for that, there'll be no going back. It all depends on your values and what matters to you most in terms of whether you give that person a second chance. Because it's not just you to think about in her disappointment or whatever, it's children when children are involved. And that's down to, there's, if a parent is heavy-handed with their children, or abuse is going on physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever, what mothers stand by and allow that to happen? That's a whole nother topic of conversation, really, isn't it?
Absolutely. Because that does bring up whole different things, doesn't it?
It does, and going back to certain lines across, there's no going back. There's no way that you can move on from that. And that will be for where some people have that for if there's trust broken in a relationship. That will be that line crossed, and there's no going back, and that's it. There will be no second chance. So it all depends on the person. So I want to thank the viewers who've contributed to tonight's discussion. Thank you for sharing your comments, your personal experiences, and getting involved in tonight's chat. But giving people second chance gives you, because you deserve peace of mind that comes with forgiving and moving forward. And that's it from me. But I would like to invite the viewers, your friends, your family to Thursday the 13th of October. We are holding a networking and stakeholder event as Reactiv8's first one. It's going to be at the Mercure Hotel in Bedford, 9:30 for a free continental breakfast, a cup of coffee, tea, hot chocolate, green teas, we've got them all. And we'll have various stands there that are going to be promoting and having a chat with the community, getting involved. And I want you're going to get a bit of me for 30 minutes, a motivational start to your day. And I'm going to talk about, how to live your best life, and mastering your thoughts and how your thoughts can impact your world and shape your world. So yeah, that's all on Thursday, a week tomorrow, at the Mercury Hotel, 9:30 in the morning. I look forward to seeing you all there. So we will put the event out on this. It's a MailChimp. Just reply to the MailChimp and book yourself on the space. And we look forward to seeing you then. That's it, TJ.
That is really exciting. I really want to go. But what people should come along to this event? Is it for anybody? Is it for business people? Is it for people that are unemployed? Who's it for?
It's for anyone who wants to learn how to live their best life. And it's an opportunity also for businesses to come together, to network, to meet. It's an opportunity for all the people that we work with in terms of whether it's prisons, job centres, schools, head teachers, an opportunity to hear about what we offer education, what we offer with our housing, what we offer with corporate training. There's a whole range of things we're going to share with you, and you'll get to meet one of our guest speakers who's coming to talk about her journey from homeless to where she is now. So there we go. If Akeem can post out here right now the live link, that will be amazing. So if you can post the link in the comments box, Akeem, and anyone who wishes to come, feel free to sign up because places are going fast. It says the last seats left. So last seats left to get your space booked in, because we can only hold, I think, 100 people in the venue. And yeah, I think, have you put it in the link? Is it there? Is it there yet, TJ?
No, not yet.
Not yet. So stay on the line, look out for this link, click the link and literally sign yourself up. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you next Thursday. And there's a special surprise on that day too. I'm keeping that bit secret. So yeah, there's a little surprise happening on that day as well, and only the people in the room will know about it.
It's very exciting.
That's all I'm.
I love surprises. It's so cool.
That's all I'm saying.
For anyone that's listening to this on playback and don't see the link, can they email you for a ticket as well?
Yes, they can. Just email media@reactiv8.org.uk. Could you put that in the comments box, TJ?
Yeah.
media@reactiv8.org.uk. I'm just going to write it myself, actually. media@reactiv8.
Are you doing that now?
I am.
Right, I'll stop typing.
reactiv8.org.uk. I'll tell you what else I'm going to do. I'm going to post the link as well. So watch this space. Anyway, if you're watching on replay, #replay. And if you are watching live, just give me some thumbs and hearts and lots of laughters and stick your tongue out too. I don't know who did that, but it's been a pleasure being with you tonight. Thank you for watching, and we'll hopefully see you next Thursday at the Mercury Hotel, 9:30 in the morning. It's a bye from me.
You'll definitely see me next Thursday morning at 9:30. I am really looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Brilliant. Take care, everybody, and thank you so much for watching.
See you all soon.
Bye.